Hey everybody, Peter Soros here with realestateskills.com. Today I'm joined with one of our members, Sabbir. He's based in the Dallas market of Texas and he just closed his first wholesale deal. I can't wait to share this story with you, so let's get into it. Sabbir, welcome. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking.
This has been a long time in the making, my friend. I've been waiting for this day.
Yeah, that's true. With all your, guidance and, the really good videos from Alex Martinez, it's just like really dreams comes true. And I've been really, as I was mentioning that, I was struggling but I was just being persistent and trying to do the same over again. And at the same time, trying to improvise myself where I am making any mistake, so try to correct them every step of the way. And finally, I made my dream come true, I guess.
Awesome. Well, let's start diving into some things. So first, we want to know a little bit about Sabbir. Where is Sabbir coming from? Is real estate your thing? Are you new to real estate? Have you been doing this for a long time, or what has Sabbir been up to? Up until this point.
Sure. Yeah. So I have not been real estate at all, but I'm totally in different area. I work in information technology. And I have been with technology for a long time, but I had in mind for a long time that I wanted to get involved in real estate because I like to, work with people and try to understand what kind of issues they're facing in their housing needs. And also mentioning that, I had some experience long back ago. I had some sales experience before, which I work in automotive sales, and I had some friends. They were doing automotive as well as real estate. So, I have heard their stories, their being very independent from their side about financial freedom and all those things. So, I had that in mind for a long time, but because of the other obligations, it didn't. I had not have enough time to do it, and this is where I got started. At the beginning of this year with the real estate skills. Yep.
Got it. Okay. So you said it was something to do with, financial freedom. What was it about real estate investing specifically? Why that? Why not stocks? Why not something else? Why real estate investing?
Yeah, I feel like real estate, it's a pretty big market, and no matter you have bad economy or any time you have some issues in our country, it doesn't really affect in real estate. So it's kind of like it's all up to you. You can have your own business, and it all depends on how hard you wanted to work on this business, and you can flourish based on your hard work. So, and I could not find any other other opportunities like you mentioned stock or anything. Stocks could be sometimes, yeah, you might gain some point like at certain point, but most of the people actually lose money as far as I know. And I'm not that kind of person that I can do a whole gambling for a long time. So, so I feel like it wouldn't be a really good use of time for me to do a stock. I do stock, but it's from the companies that I get some benefits. But as far as for long term investment, I feel like real estate is the way to go. And as other thing is, like as I mentioned, financial freedom. It's like no matter what you like to do and whatever you wanted to do, and you can kind of write your own destiny in the real estate. And it's like whatever you learn, it's like you can use that your any in your personal professional life as well, in all the skills that you learn from the real estate that I'm learning from the real estate skills. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the saying goes, they're not building more land. Everybody needs somewhere to
Right.
live, so whether, economy is up or down, real estate tends to just kind of follow whatever the markets are doing, whatever the economy is doing. And at the end of the day, it's a necessity, so
Mhm.
it's pretty safe in that regard. And like you said, it really gives you a lot of freedom to have your own business that
Mhm.
is really entirely reliant upon yourself. So, and I'm glad you see that. How does that compare to like, what you do now? Is there always, a lot of big shifts happening in the industry where you work right now, people being laid off, you know, big takeovers from other companies? Like, what is that like? Is it, a lot more upheaval than, maybe some of us are aware?
Yes, that's absolutely true. I work in a Fortune 500 company. It's a very big company. It's a healthcare provider, and basically, I have worked last 15 years on the same kind of healthcare industry, and I've worked with pretty big companies, and they're always based on because so many things change, based on economy or people's perceptions, a lot of things, and there's so much uncertainties. I mean, there are a lot of layoffs all the time in all the big companies, and it's kind of sometimes it's very very if you think about it, it's just like really difficult to handle that kind of situations, like unless you have a whole lot of cash that you are actually staying around. So it's just like, even though if you're working diligently, you have very good rapport in your company, your manager, your supervisor likes you, but there is no guarantee for anything that you're going to be staying in the same company for a long time, because things can change very fast. And with the technology that we are in, artificial intelligence and all those things, it's gonna be huge, huge, change that coming up by the time we realize.
Yeah, it's been happening so fast. It'll be
Right.
hard to catch up if you've missed that boat for sure.
Mhm.
And that's what's great, with the real estate is you have this option, you have a skill now, and you've heard me tell you and other students all the time, you now have a skill you can use for the rest of your life to make some additional income. You can keep your job still if you have one that you like and it's providing for you and your family, and you can just use these skills to start acquiring properties if you want to go that route.
Yep.
There's so much you can do with it, and you can make it your career if you want to. So, um, you see that, and glad you made the jump because I, I got to see you from the beginning, kind of struggling, but I could see that you had a really good head on your shoulders, very kind of professional, very committed, very dedicated, and we'll dive more into like your journey during trying to get the deals, but I definitely want to highlight that I was always pulling for you because I saw how hard you were working on this. So, but we'll jump
Thank you.
into that again. Real quick, why real estate skills? I'm sure you looked into other education companies. I'm sure you've done a lot of research. What was it about us that kind of made you decide to come and work or study or learn from us?
That is a very good question, because I have been researching. I'm going to a lot of different seminars and a lot of people that I talk to, and every time I talk to some people, I get lost. I cannot find somebody can give me like step by step process or kind of guide me through, because real estate to me, it's depending what you wanted to do, it's like every day you learn different things. Every deal is different, every people you deal with is different. They have different perception, they have personalities, they have the way they talk, the way they handle the situations. Everybody's different. So real estate skills, the reason it attract me, because I did go through a lot of seminars before I joined the real estate skill, and I was not able to understand, like, I kind of understand like very high level, but and the program that I was, offered on those seminars seems to me, I did not feel the connection, like that I will be able to learn like every step of the way. Because another thing is I cannot start as a full timer as a, on this real estate, because I have to make sure then, I have enough support, that I can give enough support to my family. So I had that feelings that, and then the other thing was like their course prices was ridiculously high to me, and I was not feeling the same way that I will be able to learn enough things, so I can utilize it as my, not a full time but another part time that I'm going to work. So when I saw like some of the videos from Alex in YouTube and some of the other sites, I have gone through multiple times, and I feel like I get connected. And what he was saying in a very layman term, as if you have not have, exposed to any of those in the real estate. So the concrete example he gave, the overall kind of like the detailed information he gave in the videos, it's very very methodical, very step by step. I feel I get connected, and I thought like, hey, this is the one that I should give it a try. And the way you guys approach is like as if somebody has other jobs and they're doing, as a part-time, that very few other places that I never heard them saying that, and they're just very different.
Got it. Yeah, so you mentioned a few things that really helped in the beginning. It was the resources that we had just available, on, I don't know if it was YouTube or our blog that you came across, and then on our website. But then once you got into the program, what kind of shifts did you start to see within yourself? What helped you the most once you joined the program? Was it what was there anything specific, or was it a combination of a couple things?
First of all, in investment, what I understood from looking at the first video, there are multiple areas that you can actually dive in. But for me to look at like how much time I can spend, and wholesaler was the right option for me. And because I don't really have to go to see the property all the time, and I cannot spend a lot of time outside because I have another job. So and I feel like when I got enrolled in, and when I looked at the videos, and I spent a lot of time, almost 2 months, to look at the videos, and not just looking at the videos, try to understand, like going over and over, and try to relate like what I should do before I even start putting offers on the table, but making sure I understand everything. And all the video and all the different sections that he has the videos is literally every step of the way, and how you have to also shift your mind to real estate, because you're gonna be run your own business. So that is really really an important part. I know a lot of people doesn't really feel that way. That is like because if you're in doing same thing for 15 years, and you kind of have to switch your mind to go in a total different route, you know a real estate is a kind of that, right? So I have to really thought it through, and see like for the long term. And I feel like, all these instructions and the videos that he put through is basically was a really really beneficial, and it's helped me every step of the way.
Beautiful. Love to hear that. Love to hear that. Let's start diving into your deal a little bit. So, just start giving us all the information. You're in the Dallas market. Tell us what kind of property it was. Did you find it on market or off market? The details of the purchase price. What was it like, talking to the agents? Just tell
Mhm.
me the whole story. Tell us all the whole story. We all want to hear all the details.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, as I was saying, I had, started, putting offers, and my goal was basically, putting, try to put one offer a day, 5 days a week. But sometimes, as you know, you cannot do offers. Sometimes you're not going to be able to talk with the agent all the time. You won't be able to make the discovery call. So, going back to the your question, Dallas market is really, really hot, and very also very competitive. At the same time, there are a lot of properties listed every day, every new property, and but there are a lot of agents, a lot of wholesalers, a lot of different folks that they're doing all sorts of things. But I am glad that I'm in the Dallas market because it's really great. Um, uh, and and my deal was basically, I as I was putting offers every week, try to be consistent, and whatever I learned from, yeah, from our deal review session as well as from Alex video, try to implement those in, when I'm talking to the agent as part of the discovery call, what not to be too lengthy on the conversation wise, from because a lot of time people don't have enough time. And so I was just being very up to the point, like asking like 3 or 4 questions, like for example, hey, yeah, I see that property in the listed, and I am an investor, and I have few questions which I would like to get details from you. Basically, is there any foundational issue with in any foundational or structural or plumbing issues of the property? When was the roof or HVAC was replaced? Because to me, those are the kind of very important question that you need to make sure you have those answers, because that is going to reflect your repair cost, and that is ultimately you're going to be also impact with your offer price. So I was just making sure those questions are understand. A lot of time, the agents might not have enough information because they haven't even seen the property. But that time I actually asked like whether they have the seller's disclosure on the property, so that I can get enough information and pull it to my analysis on my deal to the repair cost. So I've been very consistent on doing that. And yeah, I had a lot of different types of agents that they were not familiar, like about the price they're putting in the market, because those prices are not consistent with the market price, as if like, when you're going to be selling this property, to make sure you're going to get the top dollar of it or not. So I had to negotiate with the agents for a lot of times and try to educate them. Hey, this price you're putting, it does not really, if investor is going to buying that property, they will have to look at a lot of different stuff, so that so you really need to educate your seller to make sure just this price is not going to work. So a lot of going back and forth and hassle, and kind of like being make sure they understand what we are what I'm asking for. So in the deal that I make is basically it's pretty much I was just negotiating with the agent, and they have a lot of offers on the table, and I was able to get pretty good discount on the property. And but it didn't come like in the like they're just ready to give discount. So it's just a lot of going back and forth, trying to make sure trying to educate their seller that the property needs to be discounted in order to first sell. Otherwise the property will be in the market for a long time and they're going to be losing money. So yeah, and then that is the one point that I was able to succeed on my deal, that I was able to, kind of educate my agent. And my cash buyer, other hand, I have been working with cash buyer for a long time. Uh, and I have followed a lot of different strategies, like going to the Craigslist, going to, Google Ninja strategy, try to call a lot of cash buyer. But, I found some cash buyer, but, a lot of time I couldn't make the deal because we are not close to the price. But one of the wholesaler that I found in through the basically through the Craigslist, and he actually gave me his referral to another wholesaler. So they are pretty much they're very big company. They wholesale a lot in here, and so he has a big network of buyers. So I was able to connect with him, and he seems like a very professional wholesaler. So, I was able, I got the contract. I got the property under contract, and basically I did, assignment of contract with my wholesaler. Wholesaler is basically, he did kind of a double close with his end buyer. And we were able to it was pretty seamless, I would think, because when I give my offer price with my assignment fees, he was able to get his buyer like in the next day to look at the property and kind of finalize the deal. And we were able to close this in 2 weeks. So and yeah, at that time, it was very seamless, and I was able to get my assignment fees within the day the deal was closed.
Got it. So tell me, what was some of the numbers? What was it listed at? What did you actually get it under contract for? What was your assignment fee? Tell me some of the numbers.
Sure, yeah. It was listed for $315,000, and I started putting offers like around like 230, 235, because that's when I did the deal review in your class. I think that's where we wanted to be comfortable in, and we know for sure we're gonna get buyer, looking at the ARVs and repair cost. So once I have that 315, we started at 235, and then I did not get any response from the agent. So I was just keep following up. Actually, following up is very, very important. If you just think like the agent is gonna call you, it's not gonna happen, because they do get offers all the time. If you just put an offer, you always have to follow up. Following up, sometimes agents likes it because they think like you're a serious buyer. So it's very important, I think. So yeah, I was keep following up, and I was just giving her a call and making sure, hey, what would because I mentioned that um my investor is really like the property in the area. So we are very serious buyer, and we can move it very quickly. And what would make the seller, what would be the list price the seller would go for this property? So I keep going like, to $5,000 higher, and then we were settled in 245. That was the price that I was able to negotiate. So it's almost like $70,000 from the listing price we were able to get discounted. And my assignment fee was like 5,000, because we did go higher than we expected, so we didn't have a lot of room for a lot of assignment fees. So I was able to happy for 5k assignment fees for this property. So I get the assignment of contract for 245, and then it has an assignment fee of 5k that has been mentioned in the assignment of contract. And that's what I basically sold it to my wholesaler, which has an end buyer to buy this property.
Got it. Okay. So the purchase price was, what was it again? 260?
Purchase price was 245.
245, the purchase price. What was your ARV on this?
ARV was around like 385.
Okay. Okay. You got a $5,000 wholesale fee. What were the repairs like? What kind of condition was the property in?
Yeah, so the condition of the property, as far as my discovery call, I did not find anything heavy repair because the property was well maintained, even though the property was, like 35, 40 years old, but it was kept in very good condition. The structure was very solid. Foundation was no, we did not hear anything from the inspector or the contractor that they found any major thing. Foundation maybe very minor, like few grants maybe. Um, and then, mostly cosmetics like TLCs inside, like carpet, flooring, and then you got maybe you need to replace the roof, and as well as, like making it nicer on the, like backyard, front yard. And so I wouldn't think that repair cost was more than 50,000. Maybe the contractor was able to get it down lower because, you're never gonna know what's the price they was gonna spend, right? But I think it was, I wouldn't think, if it would be more than 50K, otherwise it might not have worked for the buyer.
How much money did you spend to get this deal? That's a question I'm sure a lot of people always wonder, like, oh, you're doing investing, you must be spending a bunch of money to get a deal. Like, what was that like?
That is the beauty of this business. I could not even believe it. And I did not spend eventually not a dime. So basically, when I give my contingencies to have my that if I need to get it under contract, those are my contingencies. First of all, we need to have a refundable EMDs, which is a 1% of the selling price. And then we give 7 days, 7 days inspection, 7 days option period. And I usually like to put $100 option fees, so that I'm kind of safe putting that $100 in case if we need to cancel the contract. Um, so so basically, and then my buyer, they already put EMDs. I did not put any EMDs. I just put $100 option fee as a wholesaler, and that goes to the escrow, both the EMD and the option fees. And then basically, I wait, within the 7 days option period that you have, you're going to be able to, send as many buyers that you have where you can get the most best price. So basically, in 7 days, if you have something happen or you cannot find the buyer, then you can cancel the contract. The worst thing would happen to you is basically you're gonna lose $100. EMD is refundable; it will go to the whoever pays the EMD. But in my case, so I basically since I have the buyer, we kind of did all the deals on time. And then when we pick up our option fees, not option fee, when we pick up the assignment fees, they actually give you return with your assignment fees with the option fees altogether. And then whatever the buyer put the EMDs upfront, that basically it will count as a credit to when they give the funds, and all the funds when they buy the property. So basically, I didn't spend anything. That's the beauty of the real estate.
That's what we love to hear. So I remember you were pretty frustrated for a while. You started getting, really pushing it. What was it that you think clicked finally? That then, okay, I know what to do exactly, or okay, I know what needs to be done. What was it? Was there a point that something clicked for you, and then, okay, everything made sense? Things started to, the pieces started coming together better?
Yeah, for this deal, I would say I think at one point, when we are doing the deal review of this property, uh, we found that there are numerous properties they are, sold pretty high and then sometimes very low. What based on whatever we wanted to propose for the offer price. So I feel like, I think at one point, like I had that feeling that, the property looks very stable, the property looks pretty nice, and I think lot of the buyers might be attracted into for this property. So I thought, like, looking at, doing the thorough analysis of the property for the ARV, I did, at one point, I know in the deal review we said, "Oh, okay, we should not go more than that," but I kind of feel like, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's put it a little bit higher on the ARV. Because as far as I think, is like when you have a deal under contract, a lot of things can change. Because a lot of buyers would not be taking you seriously. If you just say, "Hey, I have a property, you want to go and take a look at it," but when you have a property under contract, that changed the whole story. And they would be very, very serious about your property, and they know that it's ready to go, and there will be no, going back and forth. It is what it is. This is the price. That has to make sense. And then when they go and inspect the property, and when they fell in love, and they know that they can get a top dollar for it. I think that's what happens in my property, even though I kind of wanted to give it a shot, like based on, I thought like it should be here, we might be a little bit what we thought it's going to be lower, but I kind of put it a little bit higher. So in my calculation, I thought like, hey, okay, because I put the ARV a little higher, and then my offer price eventually got affected. So basically, I can put a little bit higher in the offer price, so I can negotiate. Basically, I think that was the kind of I would say turning point of the deal, um, and I wanted to give it a shot. So I think, it's just, unless you are working for a long time and you know your buyer very, very well, that's a different story. Since I'm still learning every day. So I think having the deal under contract, but doesn't mean that you're just gonna put a ridiculous price that is never gonna make sense, but at least reasonable price to get a property under contract and kind of present that to the buyer. I think that could change a lot of things.
So during this whole deal, going through it, was there anything that real estate skills kind of did to step in and help out? You know, you really took grabbed the bull by the horns, I think, on this, and I was really proud of the commitment you put into this, and you put a lot of work into this. But I did see that you were struggling a bit. So what was it that kind of helped by having us, in your corner with this?
Sure, that's a great question. So, I know we have classes for Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, but Thursday is kind of a very odd time. It kind of conflicts with my schedule. So, what I in last 5 months or 7 months that I've been with Real Estate Skill, I did not even miss a one day for Monday, Tuesday. So I have been very persistent, and I have never missed a class. And I always, like, even though I have nothing to share, but I kind of listen to what other people are saying. And you never know, like, every day you learn new things. You just have to get it in your mind, basically try to utilize, okay, something that maybe you should try, that maybe you should not try that, right? Maybe somebody has the same obstacles, and maybe it might not work for you. So if you're making the same mistake, don't make that same mistake. And the other vice versa too. Like, if somebody is doing the right thing, and then maybe you are not doing that the same thing, why not trying that thing, right? And that might work. So one of the great thing that, like, Monday, Tuesday class, like, kind of Monday KPI call kind of sets you, get prepared for the week, and kind of feels you like, okay, you kind of have to be very determined to make your best effort to try to make offers. and make discovery calls. So I try to be very consistent and try to follow all the steps that you guys had in the in your call. Basically, you have the KPI call and the deal review. So I try to join, I would say 95% of the time, and then try to ask questions if I'm not understanding, because I have learned so many things. I'm still learning every day.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely followed the protocol like to a T. You trusted the process, it's very methodical on purpose. And just the actual extra support that we offered. I remember the time you called me, "Hey Peter, oh, we're in this, the agent's saying this, like what do I do? What do I do?" I was able to answer, give you some advice, and you're able to move forward like that. So uh, again, it's all because you're on top of it. It's all because you were driving forward and not just giving up. So it was great to finally see that we got something across the line, and you definitely deserved it and earned it 100%. So proud of you, Sabir, doing that.
Yeah. And then other thing I want to mention is like I was also getting real time help. Like suppose I'm not understanding something in the contract, so I kind of email to either you or Ryan, and was able to get response very quickly. And that was a really, really big help because you have nobody else to help with, and you guys were there when we needed. And obviously, and then you guys have the JV program too. Before that, I had few other contracts that I had to cancel, but it's just a process. I think everybody has to believe in, and every process you have to think like you learned something, and then whatever you learn, try to make sure you kind of stick with it and basically follow through it.
You had two other deals you had under contract before this one that you had to cancel, correct? It was two?
Correct. I had it in my first month and second month, basically. But the problem was basically I did not have a very good cash buyer, and but we were like probably $10,000 away, so it was very close, right?
But yeah. And even then, canceling two contracts and then getting, the third one accepted and closed, it's a really good ratio still. How many offers did you submit, do you think, total before you finally got this first one closed?
It's a lot. I don't know. I mean, I
Yeah,
would
for
say.
some people it's like eight. We've had students who've submitted eight and they close two deals, and some people it's a whole lot more until they finally get that one across the line. I'm curious how much yours were because I know you were submitting a lot of.
Yeah, I would think like because in first or second months I had those deal under contract, but I had to cancel it. But I was putting offers consistently, 4 or 5 offers every week for literally on 3 months. Uh, like I started putting offers in June and July, so I had two contracts, and then from August, September, October, so 3 months. I putting consistently 4 or 5 offers a week. So that kind of tells you the number. But it's a lot. But I believe the more you are doing it, the more you're learning, and you can get better at it. But and then other thing will be you gotta have like very good cash buyer, because that kind of impacts everything. Because if your cash buyer can only kind of want to make like 30 to 40,000 and in their deal, but they have high volumes, then you have way better possibility probability to get your offer accepted, because you can give a higher price on your offer and get your contract accepted. So I think that takes a long time to get those buyers, and they kind of believe in you. And uh, yeah, I mean, I hope I can be in that position, but I think I gotta try a whole lot. It will take several years.
And I think, yeah, like we spoke about, it can be very market specific. You're in Dallas, a very competitive market. We're in San Diego, very competitive, but and like I had told you, it really takes a little bit of time to really break through because there's a lot of people trying to get deals done, a lot of new people trying to just get rich quick. And as you saw, a lot of the agents don't want to deal with those kind of wholesalers. They don't want to deal with unprofessional people. So you have to kind of prove yourself. But then once you get in a industry in a market like that, you can really start to solidify yourself, and then it just kind of snowballs effects from there. So glad you
Correct.
stuck with it. Definitely glad you stuck with it. Um, so what's changed now? Like you did your first deal. What's changed in your life now? Anything, family? Are they like, oh wow, you actually did it? It's real. Like, tell me a little bit about what's new and what's changing with this.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows that I'm doing it in my other, job, and they were always curious, like, hey, how was it going? And so I have few other relatives that are very much interested. But when I told them, hey, I make my first deal, and they were like so happy and they couldn't believe it. They know that it takes a lot of hard work, but at the same time, because I'm not doing this as a full time, but it takes a lot harder. But they were very happy. My family and the other relatives, my friends. So they were pretty happy. Like they know, like sometime they hear a lot of things that a lot of people cannot do as they want. Sometimes they kind of get they cannot move forward, they always step back. So I think it's a great feeling. I am right now highly motivated, and I'm always trying to make things more, kind of little things makes a big difference. I think, like, every day you're talking with people, but try to understand, like, what the sometimes the agents are very difficult to talk to, and they have different criteria. They don't want to talk to you. So kind of like, try to be like, you know try to change the conversation sometimes, and be try to be friendly with them and try to see how can I get our contract accepted.
Yeah, in the end, you're dealing with people. You're
Exactly.
dealing with people, you're dealing with agents, and you're dealing with buyers, and you're dealing in a way via the agent, the seller. So there's a lot of different stories going on. There's sometimes a lot of egos going on, and a lot of times there's a lot of risk going on. So your cash buyer is the one who's going to take on a lot of risk, and that's why we have to always really consider the the risk that they are bringing. So it's it's great that you notice that, and now that you're seeing that, and now you're realizing, okay, I have to kind of be like this with agents, with my cash buyers. This is how I've got to be. And the more you do it, the more your experience grows, the easier the conversations are, the more of a professional you come across, the more trusting they are of you. Because in the end, we're talking about a lot of money for some people. One bad deal can end a business for these cash
Right.
buyers.
Right.
And some of these people selling their houses, they're usually in a distressed situation.
Mm.
They need to try to make as much money as possible too, but there's a lot of, we don't want to continue the suffering, so we need to get
Mhm.
something that works for the cash buyer. And that, we always say we want to make it a win-win-win-win, as much as possible, because that's what needs to happen.
Right.
So what's the next step? Are you trying to eventually build, keep stacking up some wholesale wins? Are you looking to start doing some of your own fix and flips? Are you starting to consider doing some buy and holds? What's the future look like for Sabir?
Yeah, so at this point, I think I want to more focus on mostly wholesaling because I it's like more realistic for me because it all depends on how much time I can spend on it. And also try to learn a little bit of buy and hold, buy and hold side as well, because I feel like a lot of time the properties are getting sold because they can offer more money because they are doing buy and hold. So maybe, try to learn a little bit more on the buy and hold. And but eventually, if I have pretty good, client list and a good cash buyer, and I have pretty good networks, I know a lot of people, that time, I will think about, try to do fix and flip. But, I want to do this probably another few years or 2 3 years. And I think once I have very good understanding and get a lot of good network of people that who's willing to work with me, because those people you need it, right? Like even if you fix and flip, you need contractor, you need wholesaler. I mean, everybody you need it is just different people within the same network. So yeah, eventually wanted to do when time is right, I think I would definitely think about it, fix and flip. But another, few years, I will try to think, maybe, what would be my other option, and depending on how much time I can put in there, because fix and flip, it needs more time.
What does this transformation kind of mean to you now? Now you've done your first deal.
Mhm.
Is this kind of changing a trajectory and leading you towards something that you've been wanting to get to?
Right.
Like what's really important to you to try to do this and make this happen and make this real?
Yeah, it's a great question because I was always thinking like, what would be, what 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 can I do to have an additional income or passive incomes? I think that would really important for my child educations, and when they are going to go to the college, as well as like when I'm gonna kind of retire, I'm gonna grow old, I can still do this. I mean, that would be really great opportunity. And that time, I think I will have a lot of experience, a lot of people that I would know, a lot of networks, and kind of build my client list. So I think I don't know any other business that without having any capital you would be able to do that. And it is just and I'm so blessed that I'm in Dallas market. I would probably gonna be always sticking to that here. And there's so many people are coming in here, and that we have lands of opportunity. It's just growing and growing. And so I think those are the some different very important things that that would be make a big impact on my life in the future and now at the same time.
Great goals to have, absolutely. So, last big question, what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about getting into real estate investing or even considering joining real estate skills? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I would give very the advice I think would be basically, I think this program is the way it's designed is really good. As far as if somebody has wanted to start thinking about their passive income, at the same time they can keep their professional job that they're doing. And then once they kind of get more skilled on these areas, like kind of try to make more deals over the years, they can always think of like being uh, being in like a very solid income from out of this real estate investment opportunity. But it's like real estate skills basically will give you all the guidance, all the step by step instructions that you really need, because as I said in my earlier in this conversation, that I have gone through many seminars, a lot of different places. I was not able to connect with them, and I feel like I'm lost, and I could not find any other places that I would be able to, understand step by step, and because it takes time. Like if you're gonna be learning all those, and then you have to get away from your main job and then kind of go out there and learning. But those things actually kind of put it through in your real estate skills in their different instructions in the different videos. So I think for someone to just don't know anything about real estate investment opportunities, this is a very, very good place to get grounded up, and they can, whatever they learn, they can take those and improvise it and be whatever they wanted to be in this area, being a fixer, flipper, wholesaler, whatever. I know you guys have a lot of other programs too, that you guys are working on. So I think I'm hoping that some of this program will have the same detail kind of videos on those programs too. So I think it would be very, very good. Uh, um, so I think, yeah, I mean, that's probably, I would think, like, if someone hasn't been started, but maybe thinking about it to get in real estate, I think this would be a very, very good place, because, a lot of time people kind of have their job, but they think always like, hey, if I'm a real estate star as real estate, if I start real estate, I don't know when I'm gonna start making money. And that's kind of put them away, because it's like all kind of a commission base. It's not like you're getting hourly, right? So even if you have hourly, you have other job at the same time, you can also work, putting like few hours a day, but work smart and very effectively. I think you would be able to be successful in the real estate over the years, but not like over the overnight.
Yeah, it's definitely not a get rich quick scheme. You got to be patient with
Right.
yourself, especially if you don't have a real estate background. It's a new skill. You have to be patient with yourself and think the long game. It's a business you're starting. And I think sometimes, a lot of other people kind of paint it as this picture of it's all the glamour and all the stuff all this money I'm making, and they don't show the work that it takes to actually get to that spot, that it is a business. If you don't show up to work to your business, nothing happens. So it's very important that the reality of it gets displayed out there for people to really understand what it's really like. So it's not as
Right.
glamorous at first. It's got a
Right.
lot of
Right.
blood and sweat, maybe
Right.
some tears sometimes. Hopefully, not too many tears, but
Right. Right.
but uh, I think that's pretty much it, Sabir. Anything else you wanted to share, or um,
Uh, no, I think all of your questions, I mean, that's pretty much I wanted to cover, but I would strongly advise whoever is watching this video. I hear a lot of people like they join when I hear like they they're just kind of rushing out, of just trying to submit their offer. But I would strongly advise, just do, just review those, take your time and listen to these videos, and try to, just don't rush out. Takes few months at least to learn those, and don't just, do a shortcut, I think. Um, because if you try to like putting offers and without looking at the videos, you're gonna get kind of get you want to know like what to say and how to handle those specific situations, and that way you're gonna lose your confidence. At the same time, you're gonna get bogged down. So I think that's very, very important. But obviously, um, it's as you always mentioned that you just have to take some patience, and And I know it's not that easy, but I think just if something is not clicking for some times for a long time, then just kind of think about what did I do wrong, or how can I improve myself, or maybe kind of put a of like upgrade yourself, like being try to be try to kind of revise yourself, like, hey, if I made maybe something I'm doing consistently is not working, but try to kind of change things around. And I think that might work sometimes, but um yeah.
Yeah, I think Alex says it. Every no is a one step closer to a yes. You have to turn it to a positive. It's all feedback. It's not
Right.
failure. It's only failure when you quit. But if you don't stop and you just keep learning, take everything as feedback,
Mhm.
you can't lose then. You can't lose then. So well, my friend, it was great to catch up with you. I'm so glad you got your first deal across the line. I know there's going to be a lot more in the future, the very near future too, because I know you've got a good work ethic and you're committed to it, and you've got us on your side. So we're here for you. So until next time, Sabir, we'll talk again.
Mhm.
Good luck. Thanks again.
Thank you so much for taking the time. Yeah, thank you so much.
And there you have it. Sabir's story is such an inspiring story. I'm so glad he got a chance to share that with us today. As you heard, he didn't come from a real estate background. He works full time, has a family, always wanted to get into real estate investing, but how could he do that? He used to go to workshops, used to go to seminars, but nobody had a step by step process that he could follow, do while he was still at his main job, that then he could still make some money and start this other business in real estate. It wasn't until he came across real estate skills that he actually saw a path to success. Once he dived in head first and committed 100%. He had a lot of roadblocks, speed bumps, but he stuck with it. He followed the process to a T. He'd raise his hand and ask questions. He was on all the calls. He would even call me when he was in the middle of his deal, and I was there to help him through it. So if you'd like to learn more about the Real Estate Skills community, go to realestateskills.com to learn more. See you in the next one.